You're welcome to the very first Maiden book of Volume 4, Series 1 of My Father Taught Me series by Steve, Emmanuel, Mojugbe, a messenger, an author, a Nigerian, MFTMS series.com. Copyrights reserved. You're welcome to Series 1 of My Father Taught Me series, titled The Idolatry of Earthly Net Worth at the Expense of the Heavenly. The idolatry of earthly net worth at the expense of the heavenly has become the most coveted value of worship conferred by Babylon to his own, as the highest esteem and honor, that's earthly net worth, placed above everything else on earth, including the commandments of the Most High, and pushed to the world as an idol of worship. Idolatry of Martha over the Creator, who is the Most High. However, idolatry is an abomination before the Most High in the unrighteousness of the world and in contravention of the commandments of the Most High, which is especially against idolatry. The consequences of this idolatry was aptly captured in the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, that's in earthly net worth, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, that's in earthly net worth of Babylon, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. That's the delicacy of Babylon through the idolatry of earthly net worth at the expense of the heavenly. Now, net worth by itself can be assessed in two ways. A, by way of the flesh, in the sense of earthly net worth, representing a temporary cycle of perishable treasures in the kingdom of earth. Or B, by way of the Spirit in the sense of heavenly net worth, an everlasting treasure set up in the kingdom of heaven. So let's start by treating item A, that's earthly net worth, assessed by way of the flesh. Earthly net worth by way of the flesh follows the commandments of men out of hate and contempt for the commandments of the Most High. Every living knows the commandments of the Most High, which simply put is justice for all. The book of Mark chapter 7 verse 9, and he said unto them, full well ye reject the commandment of the Most High, that ye may keep your own tradition. These commandments of men, also known as the traditions of men, are based on the things of the flesh of earthly net worth, riddled by injustice. We shall also be judged in the flesh of earthly net worth, having been predestinated to perish along with the flesh at the appointed time unto all men, as it was from the beginning of time, and unto the men of earthly net worth till this day. Hebrews chapter 9 verse 27 has this to say, and as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this the judgment. Surely, as stated above, the fate of earthly net worth was espoused by Christ in the book of Matthew chapter 6 verse 19 to 21. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. That is earthly net worth. So let's move next to item B, which is heavenly net worth. Heavenly net worth is assessed by way of the Spirit in accordance with the commandments of the Most High, based on the things of the Spirit and of the heavenly net worth. It is judged in the spirit of the commandments of the Most High in establishing the heavenly net worth, which abide forever in accordance with Christ's injunction in the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 21. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. That's heavenly net worth. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So let your heart be in heaven, in your heavenly net worth. The above wise counsel was written for those who choose to build their heavenly net worth towards the commandments of the Most High out of love for the Most High. And those that actually love the Most High in this context were described in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 9. But as it is written, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things, heavenly net worth, which the Most High had prepared for them that love him. Let us talk about human obsession for earthly net worth, also described as the idolatry of earthly net worth at the expense of the heavenly. So the question, what is net worth that we're even talking about? Answer, there are two types of net worth, as I had earlier explained, the earthly net worth and the heavenly net worth. So the question now is, what is the earthly net worth? Answer, the earthly net worth refers to the physical net worth that can be measured, quantified, and assessed on the scientific facts and basis of our assets minus our liabilities, or what we have left over after we pay all our liabilities. In modern terms, physical net worth is the total value of all our assets, including our house, cars, investments, and cash, minus our liabilities, things like credit card debt, student loans, and what we still owe on our mortgage. It is called earthly net worth, which has become an idol and the focus of the world as the ultimate way and power of salvation for the apparent soul of man. This concept is completely at variance with the code of conduct of the manual of life, the commandments of the Most High, which is centered on the totality of the essence of the soul of man and humanity. For example, the ultimate essence of the world's obsession for highest net worth on earth is based on the delusional quest to acquire powers through wealth of money in order to be as gods, with the hope of controlling the world with the elusive powers of the earthly net worth, which is being propagated by the deceitful spirit of the serpent and align with his deceitful commandments through the traditions of men in their quest for possession of high-value earthly net worth. However, I think it would be wise to read about the position of this matter of quest for power through earthly net worth, for us to understand the book of Daniel, chapter 4, verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones to the intent that the living, with its earthly net worth, may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and not the powers of earthly net worth, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the bases of men. The decree above even superseded the ambition of the serpent, the current mastermind of the earthly net worth of today, as recorded in the book of Isaiah chapter 14, verse 13 to 14. For thou hast said in thine heart, through the power of earthly net worth, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds with earthly net worth. I will be like the Most High. It is most unfortunate that majority of people of the world have chosen to idolize the earthly treasures of net worth, by which the world order of Babylon now evaluate and define the world, the nations, and persons according to its variations of net worth, which only wealth that the flesh can relate with, as shown below in Googled information. That is, for example, the 4 richest countries by total GDP, country GDP as released by IMF in 2023. Number 1 on the top of the list is the United States with 26.95 trillion, followed by China with 17.70 trillion, followed by Germany by 4.43 trillion, and followed by Japan, which is 4.23 trillion. Question 1. What is the global count of billionaires in 2023? Answer. Forbes reports that as of May 2023, the number of billionaires has reached 2,640, marking a staggering 19-fold increase compared to the figures from 1987. Yet, the lives of a large number of the masses of the world are getting worse by the day and by the year. Question 2. Is it possible for billionaires' net worth to fluctuate? Answer. Absolutely. Given that a significant portion of their wealth is tied to publicly traded stocks, the net worth of the wealthiest individuals can fluctuate per market valuation. Number 3 question. Which nation boasts the highest number of billionaires? Answer. The United States leads the pack, currently housing approximately 724 billionaires. That's as at 2023. Having discussed the earthly net worth of nations, it will be observed that America leads the pack of nations, including the following individuals listed below as Googled. Disclaimer, please. Currency values mentioned in this article are accurate as of 02/01/2024 and are subject to fluctuation. Now let's go to the top richest people in the world. Name and rank net worth in billions of dollars. Source of wealth country. Number 1, Elon Musk, 251.3. Tesla, SpaceX from the United States. Number 2, Bernard Arnault and family, 201.0 LVMH, France. Number 3, Jeff Bezos, 174.2 Amazon, United States. Larry Ellison, 135.3 Oracle, United States. Mark Zuckerberg, $125.3 billion, Facebook, United States. Bill Gates, as at this information as at 2023. Please take note of that, as called from Google information. So number 6, Bill Gates at 119.6, Microsoft, United States. Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, United States, 118.6 billion. Larry Page, Google, United States. Sergey Brin, Google, United States, that's 112 billion. Then Steve Bella, 112.2, Microsoft, United States. Now, this is the larger than life question. Why is United States leading as the world's foremost net worth and wealthiest people in the world? Answer. The United States leads as the world's foremost net worth and wealthiest people in the world because of the blessings of the foundation of the founding fathers in prayers to the Most High. And when some of the founding fathers of America, people like Franklin, on seeing the stalemate during America's deliberations in the Constitutional Convention, called the Assembly to a daily Christian prayer, requesting the guidance of the Most High in all their deliberations, which fell within the purview of the following scriptures. The book of Job, chapter 5, verse 13. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. Proverbs 3, 1, 2, 6, 8. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Franklin acknowledged the Most High, and he directed the paths of America. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Most High, and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel, and marrow to thy bones. Benjamin Franklin further stated this, which manifested as the root of the blessings conferred on the United States of America through Foundation Fathers' prayers. I therefore beg leave to move that, these are the words of Benjamin Franklin. I therefore beg leave to move that henceforth prayers imploring the assistance of heaven, take note of this, for the United States, and its blessings on our deliberations be held in this assembly every morning before we proceed to business. That is acknowledging the Most High, as spoken in the book of Ecclesiastes, and that one or more of the clergy of this city be requested to officiate in that service. Imagine also the President of the United States of America making this proclamation to the nation. Therefore, I, Abraham Lincoln, President of the United States, do appoint the last Thursday in September next as a day of humility, prayer, and fasting for all the people of the nation. Note that the president of a nation represents the will of the spirit of the people. And above all, many in the founding generation, 98% or more of whom were affiliated with Protestant Christianity, regarded the Bible as indispensable to their political experiment in self-government. The Bible was used as inspirational documents in the founding of the United States of America as a nation, by about 98% of American founding fathers who were in love with the inspirational verses such as Galatians chapter 5 verse 1, Galatians 5:1. It states, "Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage." The world should take note of this verse, and I repeat it again. "Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage." This was a very attractive text to Americans of the founding era. They loved Old Testament texts dealing with the idea of covenant, so they were drawn to passages such as Leviticus 26 or Deuteronomy 28, upon which the clauses of the founding concepts of America's Constitution were framed, which partly biblical concepts was the idea that all people are created equal, whether a European, Native American, or African American, and that these people have fundamental rights such as liberty, free speech, freedom of religion, due process of law, and freedom of assembly. America's revolutionaries openly discussed these concepts of blessings and curses in line with the commandments of the Most High as briefly and fundamentally listed below. Leviticus chapter 26, verse 1, 3-4, 8-9, 14-16. Now, let me read it to you. This is from the Bible, the Holy Bible. "Ye shall make you no idols, nor graven image, neither rear you up a standing image, neither shall ye set up any image of stone in your land to bow down unto it, for I am the Most High, your Creator. If you walk in my statutes and keep my commandments and do them, then I will give you rain in due season, and the land shall yield her increase, and the trees of the field shall yield their fruit. And 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight. And your enemies shall fall before you by the sword. For I will have respect unto you, and make you fruitful, and multiply you, and establish my covenant with you," representing the blessings of the present day America. Now the caveat, as in the Garden of Eden. "But if ye will not hearken unto me, and will not do all these commandments, and if ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant, I also will do this unto you." That is the causes for breaking the commandments of the Most High. "I will even appoint over your terror, consumption, and the burning agony, that shall consume the eyes, and cause sorrow of heart, and ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it." The idea that all people are created equal, as enshrined in the American Constitution, fulfill part of the commandments that says, "Love thy neighbor as thyself," in the sense of do unto others what you wish done to you in justice. It's a major part of the law translated into a system called democracy. Democracy in principle may all not be it, but concerning the case of the multicultural races of the United States of America and of the present generation, the Constitution that all men were created equal enabled Obama of African descent to be president of the greatest nation on the planet Earth, the United States of America. This law which was observed was the root of American spiritual and physical blessings, translated into the highest earthly net worth of the world, as in the list of the first 10 top billionaires of the world. However, it is instructive to note that all earthly billionaires have the limitations described by Christ in the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 19 to 21. And I will say to my soul, Soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years, like thine ease. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But the Most High said unto him, Thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? So is he that layeth up treasure for himself, and is not rich toward the Most High. There is no harm in being rich, but your riches should be toward the Most High. Being a billionaire is a blessing only if it was rightfully and righteously acquired and used righteously. Even then, we are limited because it is not a possession for life. Once our numbered days are up, no matter what we have acquired, we shall one day part with our earthly net worth. Unfortunately, the business of the billionaires of the world are profit-driven, though it is more of a monopoly and more of greed in the pursuits of net worth than of providing humane services from the abundance of the gift to us by the Most High for the limited time we have on earth, time of which the Most High shall require of each of us on the last day to account for how we spent the gift of life for the purpose of preparation for heaven or hell. The choice is ours. This is where the choice of earthly net worth versus the heavenly net worth matters. One thing is clear like day and night, that we cannot remove a pin from our earthly net worth when our days are exhausted on earth. And we must move on to the next place, heaven or hell, which is determined by the choices of the net worth we make here on earth, whether it is the earthly net worth that will helplessly perish with the spirit of the flesh in hell, or the heavenly net worth that will live forever with the spirit of the Most High in heaven. The reason why the earthly net worth will helplessly perish with the flesh is based on the factor that we use the principle of the serpent through Mammon to build the treasured net worth, which way was designed to break the commandments of the Most High. For example, the building of earthly net worth is based on maximization of earthly material profit and usury at the expense of humanity referred to in the book of Galatians chapter 6 verse 7 to 8. Be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. The flesh of man is very easily corruptible by the spirit of the seed planted by the serpent in our hearts against the commandments of the Most High, as was the case in the Garden of Eden, which translated equivalent is the issue concerning usury that forms the backbone of earthly net worth. Hear what the Most High said in the Holy Scriptures about usury and the judgment. Leviticus 25, verse 37 to 40. Thou shalt not give him thy money upon usury, nor lend him thy victuals for increase. I am the Most High your Creator, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt, to give you the land of Canaan, and to be your Most High. And if thy brother that dwelleth by thee be waxen poor, and be sold unto thee in exchange for money, thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bondservant, that is, slave, but as an hired servant, and as a sojourner. He shall be with thee, and shall serve thee unto the year of Jubilee. Now, let's clear the air concerning the difference between bond servant, that is a slave, and hired servant. Number one, a bond servant is a person who serves in bondage, a slave, out of fear of what will happen to him, which in one form or the other are doses of measured deaths if he refuses to serve against his will or the new master's will. 2. A bond servant in the earthly sense is a person inhumanly bound to service without wages or without adequate wages, and as such owned by a master for a lifetime. 3. The word bond servant is used sometimes to describe the level of relationship in the spiritual sense of voluntary choice of service to the Most High, as in the book of Romans chapter 1 verse 1 to 4. Paul, a servant of Messiah Christ, called to be an apostle, separated unto the gospel of the Most High, which he had promised afore by his prophets in the Holy Scriptures, concerning his son, Messiah the Christ, which was made of the seed of David according to the flesh, and declared to be the Son of the Most High with power, according to the Spirit of holiness, by the resurrection of the dead. Whereas a hired servant is a negotiated and paid laborer with the servant's consent, free to peacefully stay or live in a peaceful and responsible consensus. But in building up a net worth, two phases of strategies are being employed for the earthly net worth, and we all know it. Number one, crafty and greedy maximization of profit to build up a humongous net worth at the expense of life and humanity, in a sophistry and collaboration with Mammon, the god of money, in the lying promise to make owners of net worth as gods, according to the familiar words as gods stated in the book of Genesis chapter 3 verse 5. For the Most High doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. In the context of net worth delusions of being as thin gods, corrupted gods, knowing good in righteousness and evil, that's knowing good in righteousness. That's, he knows that righteousness is good, and evil in unrighteousness. So when we say in the scripture, man knows good from evil, or according to the lies of the serpent, but choose to do the unrighteousness of evil in order to build up earthly net worth, which unrighteousness increase exponentially to doing more evil than good. Wherefore, it becomes contrary to the commandments of the Most High, even at the best conceived good of a man in the flesh, described in the book of Isaiah 64, verse 6. But we are all as an unclean thing, and all our righteousnesses are as filthy rags. And we all do fade as a leaf, and our iniquities, like the wind, have taken us away. Number 2, crafty and greedy maximization of profit through usury to build up a humongous net worth, placing material gain above the life of humans in the principle of the end justifies the means. Hear what the scripture says about usury. Proverbs 28 verse 8. He that by usury and unjust gain increaseth his substance, he shall gather it for him that will pity the poor. Behold, here are the words and judgments of the Most High concerning givers and takers of usury. Isaiah 24 verse 1 to 2. Behold, the Most High maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. And it shall be as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. Now, usury turns the net worth of a man into earthly net worth, as explained above, because it breaks the commandments of the Most High and with the attendant consequences. To further sink the idea of heavenly net worth into our consciousness, let us reflect on the parting last words of a famous American called Steve Jobs, as called from his social media. Read carefully until the end. That's what's written in the social media presentations. I quote, "The last words of Steve Jobs, billionaire, died at 56 years old. The last words of Steve Jobs before his death. Now, let's listen carefully. I have reached the pinnacle of success in the business world. In the eyes of others, my life is an achievement. However, aside from work, I had little joy. In the end, wealth is just a fact that I've grown accustomed to. In this moment, lying in my hospital bed and remembering my whole life, I realized that all the recognition and wealth in which I took so much pride has paled and become insignificant in the face of death, imminent. You can hire someone to drive your car or earn money for you, but you cannot hire someone to bear sickness and die for you. Lost material things can be found, but there is one thing that can never be found when lost, and that is life. Whatever stage of life we are in now, in time we will face the day when the curtain closes. Love your family, spouse, and friends. Treat them well. Cherish them. As we get older and wiser, we slowly realize that wearing a $300 or $30 watch both give the same time. Whether we have a $300 wallet or a purse of $30, the amount inside is the same. Whether we drive a $150,000 US car or a $30,000 US dollars car, the route and the distance are the same, and we arrive at the same destination. Whether we drink a $1,000 US or 10 bottles of wine, the hangover is the same. Whether the house we live in is 300 or 3,000 square feet, the loneliness is the same. You will realize that your true inner happiness does not come for the material things of the world. Whether you fly first class or economy class, if the plane goes down, you go down with it. Therefore, I hope you realize when you have friends, buddies and old friends, brothers and sisters with whom you chat, laugh, talk, sing, talk about the north, south, east, or the heaven and earth, is true happiness, an indisputable fact of life. Don't educate your children to be rich. Educate them to be happy. So when they grow up, they will know the value of things and not the price. What is life? To better understand life, there are 3 places, according to Job: hospital, prison, cemetery. And the hospital, you will understand that there is nothing better than health. In prison, you will see that freedom is such a precious thing. At the cemetery, you will realize that life is nothing. The ground we will walk on today will be our roof tomorrow. Bad news: we came with nothing and we will leave with nothing. Let's be humble from now on and thank the Most High for everything. Unquote. That is from Job. Brothers and sisters of the world, can we learn the lessons so far to start building up our heavenly net worth according to the specification of the book of Matthew chapter 6, verse 21? But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. That is heavenly net worth, rather than the earthly net worth as espoused in the book of Matthew chapter 6, verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. An admonition of Christ on the idolatry of earthly net worth at the expense of the heavenly, in the book of Matthew chapter 7, verse 11 to 14. If ye then, being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your Father which is in heaven give good things to them that ask him? Therefore all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. In our anxiety of building our net worth, for this is the law and the prophets, enter ye in at the straight gate, S-T-R-A-I-T, straight gate. For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because straight, S-T-R-A-I-T, straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. O brothers and sisters of the world, let us be the few there be that find it, the heavenly net worth. Remain blessed. My name is Steve Emmanuel Mojugbe, a messenger, author, a Nigerian, MFTMseries.com. Copyrights reserved. Thank you for listening, and remain blessed once more.